We all go a little mad sometimes. Get you.
You are Here's Johnny. It's all for you.
Hello and welcome to the Horror Hour. It's the show where we discuss, debate and disagree on all things horror. And today we are going to do something slightly different. We are veering off from the horror tracks and we are going into the fantasy realm because we are coming at you with a review for Willow, the series. So joining me to do this is obviously the one and only Yutaka.
Hello. So proper.
Yeah. Yes, both myself and Yutaka are very big fans of the original 1988 film. So when we got the opportunity to watch the episodes, we thought we would jump at the chance, and we've done it. So we're going to come at you with a little non-spoiler review for the episodes. Little synopsis. It is picking up years after the events of the 1988 film. Where obviously Willow had to protect Laura Dannon from Queen Bavmorda. Fantasy names are weird. So this one picks up with Willow having to band together with a bunch of odd heroes, shall we say, to protect Anduin from an even larger foe. Oh, so Yutaka.
Yes.
We've seen episodes 1 to 7.
We have.
What are your non-spoiler thoughts on the series so far?
So, okay, as you mentioned, like I am also a huge fan of the original film. Grew up watching it. No, I did not see this one in theaters. But it was one that I definitely did love as a kid. So one of the things that I enjoy about that, or about the film, that I feel that the series does elaborate on, I love the world, and I obviously you don't get to see as much of it in the actual movie because it's I think hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Either way, I love that with the series. I mean, we are going multiple places. It's world building, and I really actually had fun with that. The other thing, I would probably say from just what's on Disney Plus, this feels more adult than quite a few of their even their newer shows. Just I will say some of the violence, like it reminded me of the 1988 film. Like I saw an arm get chopped off. They didn't shy away from that. I think some of the creature creation is really great. And honestly, the fact that, I mean, anytime Willow's back on screen, I love Warwick Davis. So it's very happy, to see him. And I didn't realize, honestly, because I hadn't actually seen the trailers, I didn't realize they had the original actress who portrayed Sorcerer in this. Like,
yes,
blew me away. I think the young cast does actually a really good job. And I think Erin Kellyman, she was in Captain America, right? The one who plays Jade.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. She was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah.
I liked her in this.
Star Wars Solo. She was in Solo, the Star Wars spin-off thing. Yeah. Words. She's getting paid by Disney, shall we say. No, I would fully back you up on everything you've just said there. I didn't think a Willow series was going to be necessary when it was first announced, because I didn't really think... I thought the world that they'd created in the 1988 film was good for the 1988 film, but I didn't know where further they could expand.
Sure.
But instantly, episode 1, I was like, yeah, I don't have them worries. I shouldn't have had them worries. Why did I have them worries? This is amazing. This clearly has a much larger world.
And budget. Disney threw the coin at this.
This looks so beautiful. Every shot could be like a painting. It is so beautiful. But the younger cast, amazing. Is it Tony Revolori?
Graydon, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, so funny because he was so just dry. Loved it. Everyone, the returning characters, the surprises
Yes,
that we didn't know were coming.
we can't talk about them.
Whoa. I was just like, oh, every episode had something to keep you wanting more. So I can't wait. I believe it is an 8 episode
Yes.
season, so we are just waiting for the final, and I can't wait to see the final.
This is the first time you've finished the screeners before I have, and you were pissed. Rightfully so. They did a good cliffhanger.
I've been sitting waiting for a week for Yutaka to catch up with me so that I could vent my anger at the
it's
cliffhanger.
Usually the other way around. Now you know how I feel. And to be fair, though, this I will say too. I probably would have binged this. There were just some other things that I had to watch. But I will say, like, I'm a little bummed. Obviously, Disney Plus isn't going to, this is, I think, first 2 episodes are going to be released, and then I think it's weekly. And that's a bummer because this could easily be a binge-worthy series. But I can see how they do, I would say drop like morsels to keep you like, ooh, I will come back the next week. Because right now, I would say we can see with some of their the viewing habits, like people aren't for their shows, like they're not coming out in droves. And I think they're and I'm only saying this because I feel like everybody's trying to do the Netflix model or wants to be able to compete with that.
Yes.
And so they think that the weekly release, sometimes I'm not a fan. Don't get me wrong.
Sometimes I'm not a fan. It works with shows like Game of Thrones. It works very well with that. Even though I would love it all at once, it still works well. And I do think this actually, now saying Game of Thrones, I think this show is what Amazon wanted the Rings of Power to be towards Game of Thrones.
I wasn't going to compare this to any of those shows. But since we're going to compare, I will say I do love, like, when I see Rings of Power, I think, yeah, Amazon threw a lot of money at that. So when I see Willow, I would say the same. Like, it is, as you said, the landscapes, the locales.
But they're all
stunning.
I think the best part is where Amazon obviously threw a lot of money at it, and it was all, yes, it was quite a lot of it was shot in places like New Zealand and things like that, but there was a lot of sound stage stuff.
Sure, yeah.
Rings of Power, where this, apart from I would say episode 7, all of this is real. It's all shot in England. It's all real. It's all real places that you can go to.
Oh, really? Now, see, that I didn't know.
Yeah. It was all shot in Wales. And there is some certain scenes in episode 7 that are still, even though they look soundstagey, they're not. They are shot also in I believe it's just North of Wales on the English country coastline. But they've added effects in that make it look like it is,
of course,
not real. So that's why I say it's what Amazon wanted from the Rings of Power, in line with like competing with Game of Thrones. They wanted like a Game of Thrones that the family could watch. And I think that's what Willow gives you. I would say it was the best Disney Plus show that they've released.
I would possibly. Like, I differ on some shows with you, but anyways, this is more about Willow. And I would say this is a really fantastic series. I really like it, really brought me back to my childhood, but I do think it adds to the story. Yeah, there's the occasional tropes, but I mean, can't speak. Yes, there are the occasional tropes. But there are some that aren't, because for once, I can't spoil it, but Disney did something right that we've been complaining about. And when I say we, if you watch our channel enough, you should know what we mean by we. I was very, very happy with that. And so that's really awesome. I will also commend, I loved the fight choreography that we've seen. I think they're doing a great job with that. I also do like the humor, like what's his name? Thraxus Borman. I love that character. Cracks me up.
Very funny.
If I had one complaint, I have a couple, but if there is one, I would say Dove at times is a little bit one note.
I would say her and the princess, slight bit of one noteness about them.
So,
but it wasn't enough to detract from.
No, not at all. Again, I think it all works really well. I love what I've seen. I'm hoping, obviously, after we see the finale, I hope it sets something up larger. And maybe that's just because I want to stay in the world. It is really like the series has done a great job of just taking me back to where, like, the movie took me. And so I really enjoy that. And that's just something that I think, how long it's been, good God, decades.
25 years?
Yeah, it's been a hot minute, y'all.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Oh, it's older than me. 34, yeah.
I was trying to be nice to myself, but thank you. Yeah, thanks. Yes, that's why I also said decades, just to leave it at that. So yes. Yeah. Thank you. Anyways, the most important thing is I really had a great time with this. I really do.
Same.
I think I'm hoping Disney has a hit on their hands with this, because I really would like to see more.
It really deserves to be a hit, and it deserves a second season, because they've clearly put a lot of love into this. And I think it's very, if you were a fan of Willow, you're going to enjoy this. If you've never seen Willow, I think you could pick this up. I think they do a good enough job explaining.
They do.
What happened.
You should still watch the original.
So you should still watch the original. But if you don't want to go in and watch the original, there is still enough information in this where you can just start watching this and pick it up. So please do go watch it. You should really watch it. So rating time. Out of 10, what would you rate it?
That's hard. I mean, I'm going to give you a number, but I say that because since episode 7 left a cliffhanger and I don't know how it resolves, it's like, that's so hard. But I know
we have the right to change our vote.
I know.
Once we've seen the final.
I would give this a solid 8.
Good. I would, at this moment in time, I would give it 9.5.
Okay. All right.
Because I had no issues. Yes, I did find Dove and the princess a little bit one note. However, I think other aspects of both characters made up for it. And I think, again, overall, the show made up for them things. So
hard not spoiling you all. I promise you. That's why we're like, no. Because if there's one thing, like you said, there are some really good surprises. Some you might see coming. I'm not gonna lie. I think I for once knew 2 of them. That never happens. Right?
Well done.
Look at me actually picking up on things. But yeah, I can't get over how much I did I do enjoy this. I'm looking forward to rewatching it.
Very much so.
I
am going to
mean,
be watching it again when it actually drops on Disney Plus, because I think us watching obviously the screeners doesn't help in viewership. And I think us watching it on via Disney Plus does help with viewership. So I will be watching on Disney Plus. But yes, thank you. If you enjoyed our review today, be sure to check more of our stuff out. We have reviews of lots of different horror genre films. We also have a podcast that comes out weekly on a Wednesday. It does come out a day early if you are a Patreon member, which you can join, and it details are below. So do check that out if you would like to join us. We also have extra content on there as well. You can also check out any of our interact with us on socials. We are at the Horror Hour TV. That is on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're told what is coming up next. So thank you for watching us this today, and goodbye.
bye.
You have been listening to the Horror Hour. See you next time.